At my workplace, I had a good amount of maternity leave, but I was very eager to get back to work because, as I said, I just started the job and I got pregnant, right? So I didn't want people to think that, oh my God, she's gone, and like the job insecurity or whatever. So even though I was not really ready for coming back, I just took like a 6 weeks vacation and I went back to work. So, but what we don't know is how much emotional and mental stress it's for you. So unknowingly, there was a lot that my mind was processing, but I always thought I was getting through it. And there was a time when I had to join my son to daycare, and like they would be sick. Every other day, I would get a call that, hey, your son is sick. He's not feeling well. We want you to come and pick him up. And my workplace was not remote. I had to be in office. And at the same time, living in the US financially with one single income and a child is hard. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get through this and I'll send him to daycare and all of that. So that is when a real hard reality happened.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 25 of the Dairy Mom podcast. My name is Diana Ade. I am the founder of the Dairy Mom. We inspire, educate, and empower mothers who may be struggling to reclaim their dreams or who may have temporarily set aside their ambitions due to the demands of motherhood. On the Dairy Mom podcast, we bring you powerful stories from audacious mothers around the world who defy societal expectations and harness their strength to juggle both roles of motherhood and the pursuit of their personal and professional ambitions successfully. Before we begin today's conversation, I want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you to all of our new subscribers, and thank you to all who have been with us from the beginning. I appreciate you all very much. And if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please do so by hitting the subscribe button. This helps our channel to grow. Today's episode is the first part of our series, Engineering Motherhood. We want to look at risk-taking and perseverance in this journey called life, and in particular, motherhood. What is the extent to which a mother would go to put her life at risk for her child? We'll look at all of these in this series with our special guest, Vijetha Bala. Vijetha is a software engineer at a telecom company in Denver, Colorado. She moved to the United States from India in 2009 to pursue her education in computer science at Purdue University. She has 15 years of experience in the telecom and finance industries. She's also currently pursuing her MBA at the University of Colorado Boulder. She's a mentor at the school to many young engineers who are just starting out their careers in engineering. She has a passion for leadership and strongly believes in being optimistic. She lives with her husband and 2 young kids. As a mother of 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, she takes pride in walking the talk and leading by example for her children to inspire them to work hard towards achieving their dreams. She's actively involved in the Society of Women Engineers Denver chapter. She's seen as a person full of life and energy who believes she has a much bigger purpose in life. She accepts every challenge with a smile and an attitude to solve. If you're ready for today's conversation, grab your pens and notebooks and join me as I speak to our special guest. Hello, Vijetha. Welcome to the Dairy Mom podcast. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
You're so welcome.
It's an opportunity for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for honoring our invitation. As I read in your bio, you were I would say a very high profile woman. Like you are an engineer. That's a big one, You're an engineer and you're a mother and you are working full time, and then you are also pursuing your MBA at the same time. Like it's a lot to juggle, and I'm very curious to know how as a mother you are pushing your career and at the same time also taking care of your young ones. So I'm really looking forward to an interesting conversation today, and I want to say thank you once again for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Vijetha, we want to know a little bit about your background. Can you walk us through what childhood was like in terms of parenting dynamics? What did you observe in the home, and as a child, how would you say that shaped your perception about adulthood, and then how did it even impact your life as an adult?
Uh, yeah. So I grew up in India. So I was born in India, from Hyderabad. It's in the south part, and my parents. My mom is a teacher and she's a child counselor, and also my dad is a professor. And so I grew up with teachers. So I take a lot of pride in that, and I'm really blessed to have great parents who have actually nurtured a lot in my well-being. And something that I have learned from my dad is he lets me take the risks and owns me for the risks. So that is something I have learned from my real childhood, like, taking on to risk. Like, he was never scared for me to go in a bus by myself just because I'm a little girl or something. So he gave me the exposure that the world is not easy. And on the other hand, my mom is really soft, but I learned patience, perseverance, and like a lot of nurturing values from her. So I got the soft and the hard, and I think that is what makes me for who I am today. And I'm really blessed to have them as my parents.
Wow, wow. I just like how you said you have the soft and the hard, and your father allowed you to just go out and take risks. Like that's really beautiful. I'm sure that contributed to why you ended up studying engineering.
Yeah, he was never afraid. Like, I don't know what he went through internally, but externally he was like, I am preparing her for the real world. I think that is what his attitude was. And I see this, he does the same things with my kids. Like, there was a point like when my child was really, like, I think he was 11 months or something, and he would just make them slide on the small slides, and my heart would pump. But like, I am really, like, he has that strongness in him that made me really a strong person today.
Wow, wow. How would you say that kind of upbringing affected you? Like, or how would you say what has been that impact on you as an adult?
I think because of that, I'm actually not really afraid of taking risks. I'm not afraid of being a failure, because there are times when I really mess up, but I figure out the solutions, because that's what my dad always thought. Okay, you mess up, it's up to you to resolve it. So I that is exactly what I apply in everything that I do, is like, okay, this did not work, what do we do next? So I think that really helped me in many phases of life when I was really low, and it helps me a lot with motherhood and and balancing the professional and the motherhood in itself.
Wow, wow. This is so beautiful. This is so
Yes,
beautiful.
yes.
So Vijay, I want to come into adulthood. Let's say you've transitioned from childhood to adulthood. I read in your bio that you had moved from India to the US to pursue your education. What was the inspiration behind you moving to the US, and then how was it like when you first landed?
So I always wanted to do something big. I always wanted to achieve bigger goals. And I think it was in my DNA not to settle for less. So I came here to do my master's, and obviously, United States is a land of opportunities. So I believe that this is the best for me. And at that time, I already had my sister living here. She's a mechanical engineer, but she was a role model for me as well. But that is what made me come here, and I came here, and here the education system was much different than what was in India. So it took me a little bit of learning, and masters in computer science from Purdue was difficult, but getting through it and working hard to get that degree. And then right after, I did not even graduate, I was already having a job in hand. So my confidence just
Sure.
kept building. Like it went, there was never like breaks in my career or anything. So I think that is something that helped me with the confidence and with everything I have here. And I'm incredibly thankful for the opportunities that I have gotten here.
Wow, this is so beautiful, and yeah, America is definitely like the land of opportunities, and you have all the resources available to you, and you also had your sister who was a big role model for you. Wow, that is beautiful. I want to come into motherhood. So I'm just like kind of like tracing your path from your childhood to now you have a master's degree in the US, and then you immediately got a job like right afterwards. So career was like straightforward for you. Like you said, you didn't have any breaks in career and all that. At what point would you say motherhood came into the picture? And how did that change the dynamic for you in terms of your career and this newly found role? Like
So I think just like many other women out there who get into a professional career, I got into the professional world. I started working as an engineer, and then right as I was getting into like the senior role, I was thinking I'm ready for like the next phase of my life, right? That's when I got married, and I there is something that I had in me that kind of changed after motherhood that I'll tell you. But I always like to plan my activities, okay, be it my life, like education, career, kids, relationships, everything, right? I want it planned. I mean, I don't say that I get upset if it's not planned. No, that's not the case. But I like to take charge of what is in my control and leave the rest. Like, so that has been my attitude. So right after I got a job, I was in a comfortable spot. I got married, and then obviously once you get married, you want to start a family, right?
Yeah.
And when you are a woman, you also have to take care of your health. And becoming a mother was something that I always wanted to, and I love kids, and I had a nephew, so I always wanted that. So I'm like, okay, I need to have kids before I turn 30. That was something that I had planned because uh, I was like, okay. And at that time, I didn't know what motherhood would be. I did not know what challenges it comes with. So that's how I planned. And I had a kid. But now when I think of it, I'm like, even if I would have planned my kids after 10 years, getting successful, getting into a leadership role or anything, and then planning for kids, I don't think it would have been any different.
okay.
Even though I had kids earlier, like maybe in the early 20s or in the late 30s, it doesn't make a difference because kids and motherhood itself is challenging. And that is where I actually was introduced to a new person. That is, I couldn't believe who I became.
A
I
new
felt
version
like,
of you.
yes, and it was really challenging for me because I wanted, I plan out everything, right?
Yeah.
I wanted everything to go for the plan. But
Yeah.
when you have a kid, it's not for the plan. Some days they sleep better, some days they don't. Some days they eat better, some days they don't. And I started getting anxiety, and because there was so much that I couldn't really do, and I started feeling like a failure, and like having anxiety and all of that. And now my son is soon going to be 6, but now I feel that it was all it was what happens. It is not just me having a special treatment. Every mother who is trying to work, like who is trying to juggle these two different worlds, goes through the same. So I it took me a time to accept the reality, I would say, and it's not been easy. Even now, it's never easy.
Yeah.
There are times, and I think part of the problem is we are always guilt tripped. Guilt is like our middle name, I think. Like if I have to keep my son or my daughter aside and take a work call, I feel guilty. If I have to attend a meeting and not attend something at school, I feel guilty. But I think I don't know. I feel it's different for men. They move on, but we don't. So, again, I don't say this is true for every father, every mother. This is truly my experience, and I don't want to get any gender here, but I think most of my friends or colleagues that I talk to are guilt tripped, and it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we
Sorry, go
and I
ahead.
think we are at a point where we should start accepting it that it's not easy.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're having some of these conversations on this podcast, because sometimes it might feel like a lot, and then you doing one thing or the other might make you feel guilty. But when you hear another mom sharing theirs, and then you it gives you a little bit of room to feel like, okay, I'm not alone in this. Like it's okay, and then I can breathe a little bit, right?
Yes, yes, I agree. I think one thing that has really helped me after becoming a mother is having that support system around you.
Yeah.
Having different mothers, having mothers who accept reality. I
Yeah.
quote that because there are some that might make it look really pleasant, but they are struggling in themselves, right? But you want someone to have that reality check,
Yeah.
someone to tell you it's okay, slow down, it's okay, you're doing a great job. I think that takes a woman way further than what you believe. I think that is the support system you need. And I quote, like, not the support system that makes you feel miserable. There are two different types of support systems.
Okay.
One that makes you feel really good and enlightened, and there's one that makes you feel miserable. And I want to say social media is one such thing, which makes you feel really miserable. And I think a lot of mothers are having that issue today due to Instagram, TikToks, and all of this, because it's all like the real world, right? No one is talking how the reality is, but they're just doing something just for the videos, and you're stressing out watching them.
You touch on a very critical point here.
Yes, I
Wow.
mean it.
That's true, right? It's only the highlighted reels and the funny stuff and the beautiful things and the maternity shoots, and that's like all this.
Yes.
Nobody
Yeah,
talks about the reality.
nobody prepares you for the real time. And so this is something I have practiced. So I support my friends who are becoming mothers. I support the younger generation who are coming into this journey, but I also give them a bit of honest truth,
True.
because
Yeah.
I wish somebody would have told me that.
Yeah.
If somebody would have told me that it's not going to be easy, but you can do it, I think I would have been at a much better place.
Yeah.
So I think we are at a point where we should make it more normalize it and make it more clear to everyone that it is not easy. It is not easy to raise kids.
Yeah. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is beautiful, and this is like the power of sisterhood, where we, like, as women, we need to, be there for one another, and give some comforting words and tell each other it is okay, you're going to get through it. This is the reality. Like, be honest with us and tell us this is the reality. It's not going to be easy, but you're going to put through. Wow, I really love that statement. I want to come into motherhood for you. What would you say? I know you've touched on a little bit of, the challenges and here and there, but what would you say has been like the biggest challenge for you since becoming a mother? What didn't you see coming but really like hit you hard, and how did you navigate that?
Yeah, so based on how I was raised, right, I was more raised to take risks and to accept reality, not to accept, but to take risks and to overcome the challenges that are in your control. So, before even coming to motherhood, my pregnancy was a difficult journey. So it was little bit hard for me. I started a new job right then, and like the new job, pregnancy, everything was together. But somehow I had the strength to overcome that, and I had my son, and uh, like it was a new journey. Like everyone is giving you advices. Okay, what do you do? How to take care of the baby? Okay, how do you feed them? Is this the right position to feed them? Is the baby burping well? Is this so? I was really overwhelmed. I was getting too many instructions, and I still was able to overcome that mentally. It takes a mental pressure too, and usually, at my workplace, I had a good amount of maternity leave, but I was very eager to get back to work because, as I said, I just started the job and I got pregnant, right? So I didn't want people to think that, oh my God, she's gone, and like the job insecurity or whatever. So even though I was not really ready for coming back, I just took like a 6 weeks vacation and I went back to work. So, but what we don't know is how much emotional and mental stress it's for you. So unknowingly, there was a lot that my mind was processing, but I always thought I was getting through it. And there was a time when I had to join my son to take care, and like they would be sick. Every other day, I would get a call that, hey, your son is sick. He's not feeling well. We want you to come and pick him up. And my workplace was not remote. I had to be in office. So I felt really uncomfortable asking every day, hey, can I go? I need to pick my son. Because, it kind of does not show. It is against my ethics. So I was feeling very much pressurized by that scenario. And but on the other hand, I was suggested by a lot of people is like they would get sick. You need to take a break. You need to like take a break in your career, and you need to like 2 years break is okay because your child would be healthy enough. And I started to process that, and there was a time when I'm like, okay, maybe I should take a break because I'm not getting this done. But that is when I spoke to my mom and I said, hey, I want to take this break and I want to take care of my child. And on the phone call, she told me this that, okay, if that's what you want to do, you can. But remember that your child would grow up and you are the one who would have that void. So coming back requires 10 times more energy than what you would do now. And she kind of said, like, you need to think through this and what you want to do. And at the same time, living in the US financially with one single income and a child is hard. So I had to take difficult decisions, both for what I want and even financially, I have to support the family. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get through this and I'll send him to daycare and all of that. So that is when a real hard reality happened, and that was in 2020, where I had an emergency and I was at the hospital, and at the same time my son was also sick, and he went to the hospital, and that the pediatric hospital. The doctor checked his lungs, and she said that we immediately have to take your child to the emergency room because his oxygen is really low. I had no idea about all this because I was in another hospital at this time, getting through an emergency procedure that they had to do on me. So we both were in two different hospitals at the same time. So I am really indebted to a family who supports me. My sister flew in, my sister-in-law flew in. So, I had like immense support. But when I came out of the surgery and I came to know that my son is in the hospital, he's in the ICU, and he's having issues with his breathing, I was devastated. I was like so much, I should say, insensible, because I wanted to go to him because he's my child, right? So just knowing that he's in another hospital, and I at that time, because he was a 10-month baby, I would pump milk, and he was bottle fed, and he would not take formula and all of this. So at that time, only a little, and because I was out of surgery, I was on medications where my milk would not work for him. So, like out of that motherly thing, even though I was in pain, I stopped taking those medications because I wanted to feed my baby. If you ask me now, are you proud of what you did? I would not say yes or no, but that is what my motherly instinct was, that I need to take care of my baby. So it was really challenging, and he was in the hospital, so I got discharged, and then I went to see him, but it was not a pleasant journey for me because seeing him in the ICU with all those tubes and like a small baby, and as parents, we had no idea what is happening, and and the children's emergency hospital, you see so many babies, and it's scary. It's not, and it's really not the most happiest thing. And I think that is when right after I was taking care, and I was going on and off to the hospital because I wanted to visit him. I wanted to be there for him. And right after 3-4 days, I was at my home one night, and I started feeling like a really sharp pain in my chest, and I couldn't breathe, and like it was really, they call it like embolism or prolapse, I believe, where after a surgery, because they fill you in with all the air and everything for the surgery, right? So I think I just felt like, okay, I might pass, and then I had to call 911 because because I did not take enough care about myself. I did not take what I have to do after the surgery, because I was right on it, and I felt like, okay, I'm ready. I need to take care of my baby. And I was again taken to the hospital in an ambulance, and they took me like code red or code blue, I believe, and they were like, something is, because they thought I was having a cardiac arrest. Luckily, it was not, but it took a while because it was internal bleeding that I was having, and like I was in the hospital for the other 3-4 days. So it was really challenging, and that's when uh, uh, reality strike that okay, and COVID happened right at the same time, and my son was discharged after 2 weeks from the hospital, but he was on like an oxygen extended oxygen support for probably a month, and COVID right happened. So like we were scared because it has to do everything with the lungs, right? And respiratory, and he was in the ICU due to a lung infection, the bronchitis. So I am a very outgoing extrovert. So COVID itself had an effect on me, and all this. So it was all together, and uh, it took a real toll on me, and everything started to fall apart. I felt like a failure at work. I felt like a failure everywhere, and uh, but something that I really believe helped me was I had the perseverance. I had the courage because I wanted to get through it. No matter what, I did not want to give up my career. I had strong aspirations to becoming a good leader, and I I think that helped me. And something that my dad always taught is that take charge of things that are in your control and leave the rest. I think that is what helped me. And even now, I'm a fighter. I don't really care uh, what what is the destiny. I have a destiny in mind, but it's also the journey that I believe I should enjoy and I should get through. So there are times when I was told by my mentors that probably you're not ready for this role yet. You need to have a little bit more of experience and all. I initially I would take that very personally, but I started accepting it. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not ready for it. But maybe I should start changing my career path, starting to accept that it's okay to uh, have years of no promotion. So that is something that because when I started my career, I had promotions every 2 years. My life was like rocket science, like like high rocketing, not rocket science, high rocketing, right? I was like, okay, I started as an intern, became an engineer, and then like promotions were right around the corner. I was chosen for every promotion every 2 years, and after I became a mother, I did not have any. And it took me a while to accept that you have a bigger milestone and you need to start accepting it. And in this journey during COVID, I came to know I was pregnant with my second child. And I wanted that because I really wanted, as I said, I really planned my life. So I wanted my kids so that I get the kids and then I can focus on my journey. I didn't want to invest 5 years with my first child and again get to that. So that is something I really planned for. And I wanted my child to have a sibling because as I said, I have an older sister and I bond a lot with her. Uh, Growing up, I didn't quite like it, but I'm incredibly thankful for her in my life. And she is one of my strongest reasons why I felt I need to have another child because she understood me when nobody understood. She took care of me when nobody was there for me. So I have an incredible support system as a family. My parents, my sister, my family, my husband. So it's an incredible journey.
Wow, wow. Like I'm literally dumbfounded by your story, and first of all I want to say I'm sorry for like all the like medical troubles that you had to go through. Um, I didn't know what to say. Like, that was heavy. That was really heavy. Like, being in one hospital, going through your own procedure, and then your child at 10 months old, also going through that kind of emergency. Wow. And being a mother, instead of you taking care of yourself, you decided to give up that medication that you, because you needed to produce milk for your child, and you prioritize that, putting your own life at risk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, again, this is not my message to the other moms here, but I think that is something that just happens.
Yeah.
It's just your emotional, your body. And as women, I think we are always nurturing. We always are the caregivers. We always want to take care of others. And when it's your own child, you would do everything in your control to help that situation, right?
Yeah.
So I don't say I'm proud of it, but I don't even say I feel bad or I regret.
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm strong. I probably, my internal self believe that I can fight through. So that's where the courage comes in.
Well, but like you said, you're a fighter, so there's that internal spirit that's like, okay, I need to fight through this. I'm going to fight through this regardless. So did you? I know, like, at some point you were considering like taking a break with your career so that you could take care of the child. Did you eventually take the break, or you still pushed through? And how did you navigate that? Because with all the challenges coming in with the baby, and at that point where your mother telling you what she said and all that, what was the decision point, and how did you navigate that?
I actually never took a break. Instead, I decided to go to school again and get my MBA. So I did not. I just added more and more to my plate because I believed that I wanted to study, and I am very passionate to become a successful leader. I'm not yet there, but I believe one day I'm going to be there. I I want to help the younger generation. I want to succeed personally and also help an organization succeed. That's my motive here. And that is one of my most inspiring things that I want my child to learn is never stop learning.
Yeah.
Always, every day is a lesson in itself. Whether it's a good lesson or a bad lesson, you learn something out of
Yeah.
it. And I always believe walking the talk and not just talking, but I believe in actions, doing what is required. So I think I have the courage to accept the failures if they're, and I think now I'm at a point. There was a time when I would be really low in my life where it would bother me that I'm not getting successful in career, or like there's so much criticism to handle and all of that. But right now I'm at a point where I think no matter what, nothing can stop me.
I'm at a point where I think no matter what, nothing can stop me. Wow. I'm at a point where I think nothing can stop me. Wow, what a powerful statement. Vijetha's story is quite emotional, yet very empowering. I hope you learned something from her story. We'll take a break here. Next Sunday, we'll bring you a part 2 of her conversation in episode 26. Be sure not to miss it. We want to thank you for staying with us up until this point. If you want to follow Vijetha, you can find her on LinkedIn at Vijetha B. You'll find a link to her page in the description of this video. Be sure to check it out. If you want to follow The Dairy Mom, you can find us on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook at The Dairy Mom. And on Instagram, you find us at @The Dairy Mom. We also want to remind you that our blog has launched. Visit thedairymom.com/blog to find more inspiring stories on motherhood. Thank you so much for staying with us up until this point. And as I wrap up, my question to you is, what is your hashtag The Dairy Mom story? Join me and let's do this together. My name is Diana Diana Ade, and I am the Daring Mom.